Have you ever had one of those days that just gets away from you before you've even had your first cup of coffee? Well, today we're going to look at a morning routine called Optimize that's designed to stop exactly that from happening. And while the whole thing is a game changer, we're going to zero in on one super powerful step called Inscription.
I mean, who can't relate to this quote from C.S. Lewis? That feeling when your eyes pop open and your mind is just instantly flooded. It's like a stampede of to-do lists, worries, hopes, and expectations. Well, the optimized system is all about learning how to tame those wild animals and start your day with real intention.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about that mental whirlwind. Then I'll show you the whole optimized framework so you see the big picture. After that, we'll unlock the power of Inscription. We'll even get into the how-to of journaling and wrap up with the really cool mind-clearing effect it has.
So, first things first, let's really dig into that feeling. You know, the problem we're all trying to solve, that chaos that can totally hijack our mornings before they even get started.
Yeah, the source material just nails that feeling, doesn't it? Before your feet even touch the floor, your brain is already running through a massive checklist of demands. It's exactly this kind of mental clutter that the optimized routine is built to handle, right from the get-go.
And that brings us to the solution, the optimized framework. The best way to think about it is like a roadmap. It's a system to give your day some much-needed clarity and direction before you dive in.
You see, optimize is an acrostic, which is just a fancy way of saying each letter stands for a deliberate step. It kicks off with organization to get all those to-dos out of your head. Then it flows into some really grounding practices like prayer and thanksgiving, followed by illumination and meditation. And the step we're focusing on today, the one that comes right after, is that second I, Inscription.
So let's do it. Let's unlock Inscription. At its heart, it's about the incredibly simple but profound act of putting your thoughts down in writing.
So what exactly is Inscription? Well, it's really just a different word for writing. The author is super direct about it. Yep, we're talking about journaling. It might sound simple, but it's a practice used by some of the most focused and successful people out there, for a very good reason.
Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, oh no, but I'm not a writer, or my spelling is just awful. And you know what? The source material totally gets that. This is so important. This isn't about writing a masterpiece. This is for your eyes only. Perfection is not the goal here. Clarity is. Okay, so if you're on board with the idea, how do you actually do it? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the practical side of Inscription. First up, you need a place to write. And the great news is, the medium could not matter less. It can be a plain old spiral notebook, a fancy letter-bound journal, or even a private blog on your computer. The only rule is to pick something you'll actually use. That's it.
So, the million-dollar question. What are you supposed to write about? The simple answer is anything. And that's the real beauty of it. You could reflect on a verse you read, unpack what you were meditating on, or just finally get those nagging worries out of your head and onto the page. The page is your space, and the freedom is huge. And this brings us to the core of why this practice is just so powerful. Let's look at what's called the mind-clearing effect and how the simple act of writing can literally transform your thoughts. The author even admits it's a little weird how it works. And you know what? That's what makes it so fascinating. There's something almost magical that happens when you transfer a thought from the chaos inside your mind onto a physical page. And here it is, the fascinating dual effect of journaling. It's like this. When you write down negative things, your fears, your anxieties, it's like you're pouring them out. You're getting them out of your system, and they start to lose their power over you. But when you write down positive things, like what you're grateful for or an inspiring idea, the opposite happens. The act of writing actually reinforces those thoughts, and it makes them stronger and easier to remember throughout your day. So, let's just boil it all down. Inscription or journaling does three absolutely crucial things. It frees your mind from all that mental clutter. It helps solidify positive thoughts and lessons, basically locking them in, and it seriously diminishes the power of those negative feelings that try to ruin your morning. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Inscription. So I want to leave you with a question, a little challenge to take with you. Whether it's a worry you need to let go of or a moment of gratitude you want to hold on to, what is the one thought you will inscribe tomorrow to completely change the tone of your day?